Hey everyone, welcome back. We are still looking for a game. Knighten versus Rainer could have been fun. That started when we started the last series though, so still a lot to go there. Damaga's still in the brackets, and to be honest, I think he has an easier bracket up until the winner of Rainer Night End.
Until the qualifying match, basically.
Yeah, basically. But that kind of gives me hope that I think he could beat either one of these guys. Experience over Rainer, not exactly like doing the greatest, lately. I think he could qualify. I don't know about the next round where we have a lot of really good invited players already.
Yeah, I see Mamba is out of game.
Okay.
Maybe we could hop into that.
Maybe. Chaos versus Lambo hopefully has started by now. Guru in the very bottom of the brackets is bugged, apparently, so he is facing Soul right now, I believe, in the round 3. Zaki's still in it too, and he could be facing the winner of Donna Lily Canine, which should be over soon. That was the thing that we
Lambo's out of game.
left to do this, and that could be fun. Or Lambo.
Lambo versus Cass was happening. Let's see if I can hop into the next game. Because I think they should probably only be through game number 1. Unless they had like a really, really fast game number 1 and 2.
What? Nurtrio becomes a Red Bull athlete? Huh? How does that work?
What? Oh, Lambo ended up winning 2-0.
Oh, cool.
So he faces off versus HellraiseR. Invite to you versus HellraiseR. So Nurtrio is now sponsored by Red Bull? What?
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's in Polish, but it's on the Red Bull site. I don't know if people are just assuming. So wait and see. But then we also have the Mystery Acer thing going on here, right?
Yeah.
Where
He receives a personal sponsorship from Red Bull. He'll also remain on Euronics Gaming.
Oh. Okay.
DreamHack Austin will be the... What? DreamHack Austin will be the first tournament Nurture represents his new sponsor at.
Either that was supposed to be announced a long time ago, or they meant Montreal.
Yeah, I think they meant Montreal.
But the Team Acer thing, they just tweeted it will not be Team Acer again, so it's gonna be a different name, I guess. That's weird. Whatever.
Acer team.
Right. Times are changing.
Clan Acer.
Something really dumb. Are we getting an invite?
No, they told me they hated you.
Well,
Said
that's
I can get
fine. I hate them too. So
Said I can get an invite though.
I'm pretty sure I haven't pissed anyone off in esports. Pretty sure.
You've pissed me off a few times.
I mean, I've annoyed you.
That's true. You haven't really pissed me off before. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, you've never pissed me off before.
Is it that interesting? It's not that hard to not.
I guess I don't get pissed off that often.
Yeah.
Like people in esports.
Yeah, I think we're both pretty chill. You know, you're like nicer overall because I get a little, fighty. But
ZvP fight?
in general, we're
Well,
pretty.
you get
chill.
pissed off at people in the chat all the time.
Well, yeah, but they were stupid first, so you know. So I don't understand when I say something and retort, and they're like, "Mod's bullying." I'm like, "Well, what do you think you're doing? Being a nice asshole? That doesn't exist. Go away."
Nice assholes can exist.
Insert that one really popular porn
tired.
star. Heyo.
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What the invite?
Crazy Jester 777. I am not having trouble being on BattleNet. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Not having trouble.
In 2 minutes.
Because I am on BattleNet.
He'll say.
And neither are any of the other players. Except for the ones that seem to be bugging.
I don't
Gotta
know.
ignore those.
Have you had this bug where it takes you 2 login attempts to get in? The first login attempt makes you go offline. It's like, hey, you're disconnected. And you're like, no, I'm
Zombie
not.
Grub, that's known as forgetting your password. I know that it's something pretty
No.
common with you.
No.
So I thought you would be aware of it, but
No, if you forget your password, it just like says, hey, that was the wrong password. What happens, it says, hey, you're disconnected. Do you want to go offline? And I say no.
oh.
And then I relog.
No, I haven't had that. I've had it, I will say like the past like week or so, I've had this weird thing where I usually launch it through Battle.net's launcher. So I'm already logged in. But there's been 1 or 2 times where I'll launch it and it'll take me to the login screen, then I'll exit the game and I'll launch it again and it works fine. So maybe that's the same problem.
Damn buggy Battle.net. I wonder if they fixed the recover game. Speaking of bugs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's summertime, so it's a bug-prone season.
Heyo. Who is next?
Your turn? Lambo said your turn.
Oh, he's probably PMing the other guy for Vito's. Accidentally PM'd you. Next is Lambo versus HellraiseR.
Lambo's just saying like, he's very slow, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. I guess HellraiseR's had a lot of time to kind of chill and not do a lot. So I can understand if he's just in a lackadaisical mood. I'm too tired to remember if that's a word.
Lackadaisical? Lackadaisical?
I can't remember if I'm just like mispronouncing it or what.
That's why I don't use fancy words, man.
Pushing daisical.
Wish it was like Wardy's stream where it shows
God,
who's
okay.
next. You'll deal. Or at
You
least
know, if
game
I
in
were
X
streaming,
minutes.
then we would have a thing showing who's next and what the current score is and all that good stuff. Ah.
We're not an out of game
I mean,
that long to have a score in between. I don't know about the game in X minutes though. I feel like Wardy's just guessing most of the time and then comes back and fills downtime
Yeah.
if he has to. So that's something that we can't legitimately predict accurately. It's up to the players.
But we
and how
do the
slow
2-minute
vetoes
break.
are.
We do 2-minute break and we give a countdown timer, and whether we're in a game or not, we come back
Yeah,
at the end of it.
most of the time. Sometimes the timer is a liar.
But then you say that the timer is a liar.
That's true. I'm pretty, open about that. Anyways.
All right.
Okie dokie. This is a fresh series. It is a ZvP, and it's on Galactic Process. In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is Lambo.
And in the top right, we have the red Protoss player. It's HellraiseR.
Oh, they're
We're playing
teammates.
through Team Invasion Esports, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
What was the name of the guy in Star Wars? black dude?
Yes. Which
Was
Star
he Lambo?
Wars? Oh, Lando Calrissian.
Lando. That okay, yeah. Never mind.
More than one
I was
flag.
like, wait a second, is that where his name comes from?
No. I think he likes Limbo and Lando and just combined them together. So, got Lambo.
I feel like Lambo's got to be something.
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's an actual word in a foreign language. How are we gonna know? We're ignorant Americans.
Maybe it stands for Lamborghini.
Maybe.
'Cause he's super fast, right? Ends this game so quick.
His APM's pretty up there. Maybe. I don't know. Well, so I don't know a lot about HellraiseR. On to a serious, I guess, discussion. I've seen him in the brackets occasionally because I always recognize that he has like an odd way of spelling his name with like numbers instead of letters and whatnot. I guess he's pretty good to be on Invasion Esports. And as their teammates, they might know a lot about each other, so it's not like Lambo's coming in here going like, who the hell is this guy? Who the HellraiseR is this guy? Am I right? But I can't be sure of that. Sometimes pick up on teams, especially like depending on the team, or more just, titles to slap on a player than it is a team practice environment, you know? So at best, they might have, you know, went to a LAN together because they were both told to go to a LAN, you know, and they actually have never played against each other. And I don't know enough about Invasion Esports. But you look at Team Liquid, and you're pretty sure all the Team Liquid guys are really good friends because they've been on the same team for years. And they've gone to a lot of events. I don't know if it's the same thing with Invasion Esports.
I do feel like I totally agree with you for the most part. I think the one thing that I'll say is that I do feel like most teams these days at least have like group chats together and they'll talk with each other. But yeah, I don't know if they're like super buddy or anything. I know, for example, Hearthstone said he used to mostly just hang out with like Xanster and stuff. And yeah, he would talk with some other people and everything, but in terms of practice, not really as much.
Well, we have a Stargate opener from HellraiseR. Lambo is going for quite a few lings. Much more than necessary to deal with... Well, I guess not much more. A little bit more than you need to deal with one single adept, especially with the help of a queen. He's got speed about to finish up in a evolution chamber. Well, that could be for an upgrade later. It could also be for a... There we go. Drop Overlord.
This is pretty interesting. I haven't really seen too many Drop Overlord builds on this map, just because... I do feel like it's a pretty long distance your Drop Overlord has to go, and look at this, HellraiseR is all...
Where? Oh, the
all
stalker?
red.
Wait. What are you talking about?
Did you not see it?
Oh,
I think
I
it was just an attack move.
Yeah, I don't think he... I guess he was just looking over for hoping, like, to catch it. Like, literally the AI will start attacking it, instead just miss the vision of it. But this is a kind of a useless drop, I gotta say.
Yeah, I thought he was going to elevate this to the main base, but apparently not.
He might have assumed that since there was a wall off at the front, he would not have bothered off falling off in the main, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, this was a failure all over the place. So, good news is this Overlord's still alive, so maybe he'll be able to stop the... Nope, not even that.
He's fully walled on multiple fronts.
Well, as long as he's got warp-ins.
Yeah, I suppose, but even his warp-ins are trapped.
Are they?
Yeah, because he's walled off at his natural expansion. Well, I guess he can walk down through the pathway, but there's still destructible rocks there.
Yeah, well, eventually I think the thing is that he wants to be 3 bases without doing any pressure, so eventually he'll break down these rocks. Yeah. And he's fine as long as he isn't getting his 3rd base canceled.
Yeah, I guess what I find surprising is the fact that he is willing to go all 3 bases without really doing too much pressure. He is, as you were saying, warping in a couple of adepts, and they are going to be making their way across the map, but... Well, I guess there's not that many Zerglings out right now to greet them, so this could get some serious damage done.
Depths shade in. Oracle's coming in a little bit later, but going to be here to help out against the Lings. Spore Crawler, not quite in range. And the Queens aren't down here to start target firing on those Oracles.
Oh, Roachworm's getting focus fire down by the Oracles. I think the Oracles could actually kill that.
Yeah, if they did they get to it? Maybe. They would have maybe run out of energy too.
He's saving his
energy.
The
point is, yeah, they're not supposed to target down a Roachworm, you know? They're supposed to have all the Adepts kill Queens and Lings and Drones. But really, a single Spore Crawler really helped Lambo. And not much damage was done. Just one worker killed to one worker killed. Like, not seriously. Nothing's really happened in this game. The Oracles live, though. That's stasis traps, that's revelation. That's good news for HellraiseR. And with the full wall off, he really doesn't have to worry about Lings. These Lings are feel a little useless now.
Yeah, I guess that is sort of a nice thing about it, is oftentimes you'd have to have the double Oracle out to deal with Speedling wall-ins and everything, but if you are fully walled off, you don't really have to worry about them nearly as much, although there are a lot of entry points he has to cover, making sure those rocks don't get knocked down over behind his 3rd expansion, in front of the 3rd expansion, his walling at the natural expansion, dealing with Overlord drops, since that's already been a thing this game. We have a Lurker Den on the way. Oracle almost died.
Very fast Lurker Den. And he wasn't able to scout that. Nope. They took very odd pathways. So the scouting has been very limited.
Well, Lurker's going to be able to be out in about a minute and a half, so interested to see how HellraiseR is going to deal with this, because he's been so passive. He sent the 4 Adepts across the map and killed some Zerglings, but didn't actually end up killing almost any drones, so he's up against an unimpeded Zerg player. And while I do agree that there are some cool things that Protoss players can do when they just get to go into their full macro mode on 3 bases, I'm still a little bit concerned that a Zerg player that gets in that same position is also going to be really, really scary to deal with.
Yeah. We'll see when the push finally occurs, which is still a while longer. I mean, the Lurker Den's going to finish up, he's going to wait for Lurkers, and you're going to have to wait for a sizable army to push up a ramp. Now, HellraiseR is going to be looking towards a 4th base soon enough, and eventually he'll have to push down into Lurkers, and that might be complicated, but Lambo's not going to get any free bases just by attacking in. Ooh. That's interesting. Maybe just dropping Lings while attacking with Hydra Lurkers, but Lurker drops would be cool too.
Maybe he's finally going to do the thing that I have been telling so many Zerg players to do versus Disruptors. And he's going to pick up his Lurkers when Disruptor Shot goes off, because you have more than enough time to do it.
You know what? You do that first on ladder, and then you send
I
your
do.
replays to him.
I already do them. I do it in Micro Tournament. Except there, I can't because there's no Overlords in Micro Tournament that
I
have
was
dropped.
gonna say, that's a lie. Why are you lying to us?
But Disruptors are coming out, and I really seriously do feel like it's a pretty strong move to go for.
I thought he had enough Lings to put in these Overlords. He does. So it's weird to me that he puts Hydralisk and no Lurkers and another one of Lings. I mean, point is, he's gonna drop something. And ideally, they're gonna get a lot of damage done very quickly, but...
It seems unlikely right now with how many photon cannons there are.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty difficult to make this work, but we do have Hallucinating Phoenix scouting around. I don't know if he's seen the army just yet, but his army is positioned in place to defend the 4th expansion. Disruptor shots could be pretty gosh darn good over here, as HellraiseR does have 2 of them, has a 3rd and 4th on the way.
There's those drops coming in as he realizes the entire army is in one position. The Disruptor was thinking about helping out here, but instead the army comes to help out, and HellraiseR should be losing his 4th base for this. Oh, and a couple Disruptors too. Oh, whoops. Whoops-a-daisy.
That is... Well, Stasis Trap manages to save the Disruptors. That's really nice.
For now. Where are you guys going? Oh, there you go, shot! Ooh, that was nice.
Imagine if there was an Overlord there to pick him up. Just saying.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Finally, the Disruptors die. Oh, seriously, only the one? Wow.
Oh god, both of the Robos are here.
Oh, and the Lings are untrapped, I guess. The
There's
drop
no
was
observer.
cleaned up. Oh, there's an Observer. Okay.
GG!
Whoops, it easy. GG.
Lambo takes a 1-0 lead.
Yes, he does. I mean, okay, the funny thing was there's no detection, and that is, you know, that's game over when the robots are depowered, but also, he was in a bad position to take care of the Lurkers. The Lurkers kind of got in that choke and foothold on top of the ramp, and he was down for the army's play anyway.
Taking out the robot facility, also making sure that he wouldn't, even if there was an observer, there was going to be no more disruptors coming out that were going to be safe. And I think even the disruptor count wasn't that high because he ended up losing some of the disruptors. So, well done by Lambo.
Yeah, yeah. I did say I think he was going to be the one to qualify on this side of the brackets. Where is that? Middle, I guess, middle bracket. Because if he wins against HellraiseR, he'll probably go on to face the Muslim. And while the Muslim's been looking consistent, he's still not, I think, as good as Lambo. I'm just going to throw it out there. But I might be wrong. I don't know their ladder history. And then that would be the qualifying spot. The next map's going to be New Gettysburg. New Gettysburg.
New Gettysburg?
New
This is where you get married?
New Weddingsburg?
New Weddingsburg?
I'm sure people do get married in Gettysburg, but I don't know why I'd want to get married on a Civil War battlefield.
It's more than just a Civil War battlefield, isn't it?
The city of Gettysburg,
It's a national military park.
It has a town, I think, because I've been there before, right? It's not that far away from me. There's a town around it, but it really was mostly known for being
Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah, you walk around and there's a couple of plaques that say like, here was the really influential part of the battle, and here is our museum. That's seriously, like, if you live in Virginia, or I guess anywhere in like DC, Nova, Maryland, whatever, you're gonna go to Civil War battlefields as your vacation, or not your vacation, your school field trips. Yeah. HellraiseR's a known Marine Lord Slayer. Is that what he's known for?
All right, Marine Lord Slayer. Or maybe it's my lord.
My
lord.
lord. My lady.
Well, unfortunately for HellraiseR, this is a ZvP, not a ZV or a PvT. Yeah.
You messed that up all types of ways.
You know what? I got a pass today.
You got a pass yesterday too, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're just getting passes.
I get passes all the time.
You know what?
I'm like
Fine.
the hall monitor. I just write myself my passes.
That's abuse of power. That's not right, man. I could imagine you as a hall monitor too. I imagine you with like this really like naive little grin because you're like 14
My
years
school
old.
didn't have hall monitors. They never had hall monitors.
Never mind. Did you have patrol?
God no.
Oh. That's what they called basically hall monitors in my school, and my brother was one of them. That was back when he was like, you know, bright-eyed and blonde curly hair and really cute, and then he went to middle school and then high school, and it just was downhill from that. It was pink dyed mohawk.
Oh, I was like, where is the hair gonna come back into this? What, doesn't your hair color stay the same?
Nope, not with him. And then he bounced back up and became a fireman, so he's all good now. But there are some serious like hills in that boy's life. Anyway.
His mohawk was symbolic of the fire that he was going to be putting out later in his life.
Yeah, right? He also had dreadlocks, which, oh boy, the 90s, am I right? Anyway, in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, in up 1, he is Lambo.
And his opponent in the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player. It's HellraiseR.
Yep. Apparently, I've already forgotten, but I did remember that he's 17 years old, so kind of a young guy here, participating in esports, a lot of room to grow. I think it was said he was from Ukraine. I think he has a flag next to his name, to check. Where'd you go in the bracket? Where'd you go? Yeah, that's Ukraine, right? Blue and yellow.
Gonna let you just keep talking. I'm not gonna get involved with identifying flags and promoting the ignorance of Americans everywhere.
Seriously, if it wasn't for being involved in esports, I wouldn't. I mean, I think I'd have trouble recognizing I don't even know. I probably wouldn't recognize the Korean
trouble
flag.
putting Germany on a map if it wasn't in esports.
Yeah, that's true. I'd recognize France just because we share colors. France! America! But that's about it.
That's really funny.
And Canada's really obvious because they'd just be like, you know, what's the most stereotypical thing about Canada? I don't know, like maple leaves? Yeah, let's put that on our flag.
Mexico's also pretty easy to remember.
Is it? It's
As is
green
Brazil. Brazil is also pretty easy to remember.
Okay, I know the Brazil flag because for whatever reason, when I was a kid, on the Sega Genesis, there was like this football game, right? I forget what it was called, a soccer game. And I loved the Brazil team. There was like no benefit to them. This is before teams would have actual stats in games. I just really liked the way their flag looked. So I always played Brazil. You know,
interesting.
that's the one I know. I got that one. But everything else is
flags
from esports.
really are stupid? New Zealand and Australia. They need to get different flags. Because they look the damn same.
Wait, and New Zealand flag?
Yeah.
They look the same?
Whenever I see a player on Wikipedia, I used to always actually confuse the Australians with the New Zealanders.
Oh shit, you're
because
right.
they look the same.
Oh my god, they're so close. Why?
Right?
Well, you know, I keep on thinking they're the same country anyway, so that's works out.
Just some mildly different locations on the world.
Mildly different. They sound the same. It's fine.
All right. Well, we do have a surprising number of overlords going to the.
Yeah,
I guess
they're
on the
kind
retreat
of-
path as the phoenixes are coming out.
Yeah. Well, they were over here. Two of them were over here, and that just seemed like a bad rally. But he did get overloaded speed, and you're right. He's retreating from the Phoenix. He base versus 2. HellraiseR not doing anything tricky. Probably looking for a third base soon.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like anything super crazy from either of them. Do have both of the gas guys being taken pretty early on for the HellraiseR at the natural expansion, so I assume he's not just going to be warping in pure depths, and he's probably going to be going up to faster third expansion, getting up a nice little stalker army. That or he's going to go for a really big attack, but I don't think he has the gateways for that.
Yeah, he only has the 3. +1 melee on the way for Lambo. This is a better map to try and get some Ling run-bys in than Galactic Process. Really, Galactic Process, despite having so many destructible rocks, is kind of an easy 3-base map as long as you wall off and keep in, count of the rocks. It's quite easy. So I can see where he just kind of gave up on the Lings last game, but here there's a lot.
Whoa.
Well, there's 2 pathways, but one of the pathways is a very large pathway.
Oh, okay, that's what he's doing. Well, HellraiseR's making a big mistake right now because he's not mining from his 4th gas geyser, and that 4th gas geyser is really important because he's going for double Stargate right now. He's going to be pumping out lots of Phoenix, and he does need all the gas he can get, especially, I guess, since he's also taking a 3rd expansion, which is the Island expansion, which is something I really like. I love this, especially if you're going to go for the double Stargate. I think that's the reason why he's going for double Stargate, so he can take the island.
Yeah, I love this with double Stargate. It's not the first time we've seen it, specifically with the production he's getting. But I am always like, okay, is this going to be just 15 Phoenixes, then he stops and goes back into the ground army, which is what most pros do nowadays at double Stargate? Or is it going to be, like, up to Tempest? Because that could be pretty cool, too. I get an idea of carriers, honestly, but Tempest can be cool, too.
Well, island expansions get scouted out by the Overlord. We have Banelings coming out, or a Baneling nest finishing up, as well as a Hydralisk den, so sort of interesting after seeing so many of the Phoenix, and seeing even like a Phoenix opening, that he was going to be going for that, especially since I think he saw the natural expansion with both of the gas guys just taken. He should have been anticipating it wouldn't be like a massive Adept Storm.
Mm-hmm. The Void Ray is coming out right now. I want to say means he's going to be going mass air, just like not very much ground at all, unless he can kind of use his minerals on something. But that worries me. I feel like Zergs have been getting very good at beating down a person trying to go for mass Stargate. Why lift all the queens? It doesn't do anything. Huh.
To the classic Phoenix move where he lifts up with every single one of his Phoenix except for like one of them, and it just doesn't have the DPS to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very useful if there was a fight going on elsewhere, but that was just literally
none of you can inject anymore.
Right? No more group spread for you. Yeah, 3rd Stargate on the way. He is just going mass air here. And I mean, I think that's cool. I love watching this go down, but I also think that Zerg players are getting very good at hitting the correct timing, maxing out fast enough to tear them down before they get that critical number of air units, whatever air unit they're going to be choosing to get. Which in this case is Void Rays.
What if he just takes the 4th expansion out the other island, and then he gets a Tempest?
He might. Like, more power to him to do so, but he still wouldn't be able to hold against on the natural, I think. That's why he's building so many cannons.
Cannons and sentries. Although sentries are a little bit harder right now.
Yeah,
but Nidus Worm going to be coming out for Lambo.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has been building a lot more queens than even just the original 7, so he's up to 13 now.
So the nice thing about the Nidus Worm also on this map is that you can actually be on the opposite side of the wall, the air blocker wall, and you can still get vision from the other side. You could build a Nidus Worm through there. You don't actually have to go through the photon cannons or anything like that to build the Nidus Worm.
That is true. And that might be what he's looking for. It also might just be, I'm like looking at the Ling right here, right? To put the Nidus Worm right on the front and get the queens involved. With the queens involved, these cannons that do... Oh my god, there's so many cannons. Holy shit. Well, okay, maybe there's enough cannons still, but I was going to say, they do really well against the Hydralisk. We'll have a tougher time against queens with transfuses. Okay.
Only Tempest still has
hey.
that.
Hey, Overseer.
Ooh.
Oh, poor cannons. You feel so useless.
Forget all those other locations. The Mushacore should get vision of this, though.
Oh no, he's not watching. He's watching this. So many cannons. Okay, that's dealt with.
He's dealing with the Overlord drop at his island expansion, but here we go. Queens unload. Is there going to be enough? You know, the Phoenixes can be really helpful over here. The Phoenixes can lift up all these units, and then there won't be any transfuses.
Well, he didn't bring any of the Hydralisk with this. There's like 2 Hydralisk with that. The rest did this kind of fake attack into the natural, which... The queens plus the Hydralisk, I think, demolish the Void Rays, and that's where, yeah, he definitely would have needed the Phoenixes. Without the Hydralisk, queens are still going to have a tough time. So I think that was kind of a messed up attack, and while it wasn't all in, Lambo's on 4 bases, 70 drones. it is worrying because now HellraiseR didn't really lose that much army, is on his way to carriers, and is getting to that point of almost unbeatable late game army. All I have to do is add in Storm.
I think Lambo missed his timing.
Yeah.
I think he's actually, I agree, like I think the carriers and the quote-unquote unbeatable army, or really difficult to beat army, is coming. Oh, I really like the fact that he's dropping down the Nidus Worm right here, and the War Prism moves in with a probe and realizes that's there, so he's going to come in with his Void Rays to clean that up. But I do think that he should take that island expansion.
Lambo? Or HellraiseR?
HellraiseR. HellraiseR should take that island expansion, because then he has a very short distance over to the main base of Lambo, and he, as long as he's defending that area, he can immediately go over. He can even pop in, kill off the Hive Tech with the Void Rays or something if it gets a little bit too dicey.
Whoa.
And just recall out if he needs to.
So many transfuses. The Queen's trying to the motherland. I agree. Which is also why I like that he placed a creep tumor down. It almost looked like BM. The Queen came in, laughed at the Phoenix, and left. But this is very intentional, and that's pretty cool. And as long as the Nidus Worm is alive, then if this is if it's contested, he can send units there. But the carriers, with their range, with probably eventual a certain number of Tempests, he's not going to be able to defend this for very long, unless he has Corruptors too.
These carriers are going to have plus 32 attack pretty soon.
What? Is that an upgrade? That's insane.
Plus 2 weapons is plus 1 damage. Each interceptor attacks twice, so it's actually plus 2 damage, and there are 8 interceptors, so it's plus 16 damage. And if you have plus 2 weapons, it's plus 32 damage for each wave of every interceptor attacking, basically.
This is very dangerous for Lambo. I want to throw that out there. If there's like Storm and he loses all this army, his Spire isn't done yet. And the Remax on more Hydras probably wouldn't have worked out. But, lucky for him, there's no Storm.
I feel like if he didn't attack now, even if there was Storm, like, he would have no answer if he kept waiting. He has to go in right now. And the nice thing is he can actually kill off most of the Interceptors before they come out. And with no sort of release Interceptor ability on these carriers, this could get really dicey. Well, I guess the release Interceptors is there, but he's not using it.
Well, the attack took longer to really happen than I thought. Now it happens, and there's the Fungals finally, but only after all the Hydras melt here. Some Queens are alive, but all the army is alive. The carriers weren't touched, the Void Rays, I think maybe 1 or 2 of them went down, but they still had a bit of that range on the Hydras, and it went very poorly for Lambo. And as I said, his Spire isn't done quite yet, but it is, again, that fight lasted longer than I thought. So his Spires will finish up, and he can go into Vipers, a lot of Corruptors, double upgrades for his Corruptors, but it's scary. He didn't take down enough of the army, and that's, again, without High Templars. If HellraiseR gets to a 5th base, or just kind of squeezes in a Templar Archives here, which he can, he's banking a lot of gas, I think his army at this point is unbeatable. Lambo doesn't have enough of an economy to just, you know, overwhelm the Protoss right now. He's only on 5 bases, with this one not even mining quite yet.
Yeah, he's trying to make some Vipers to maybe Parasitic Bomb and deal some extra splash damage, but yeah, I agree. I don't really know how HellraiseR is gonna lose the big engagements. Like, I think that Lambo has to have such a ridiculous economy that he can remax immediately after losing an army and just like come in with massive Corruptors or something and actually take out the remainder of the army.
He has to fungal this all with like 1 chain fungal, which it does clump up, and HellraiseR's like trying to allow it to happen.
The problem is carriers will kill most of the infestors while that's happening.
Yeah. He has to chain fungal plus Parasitic Bomb plus have Corruptors soaking up all the damage. Like, yeah, it's got to be this perfect engagement, which I don't think is going to be allowed to happen.
He has some Neuroparasite, a Ghost, and somehow nuke this army
Just
twice.
find a Ghost that's left over. Find Kerrigan, you know? This is New Gettysburg after all. I need to borrow you for a second. Rip her out of the timeline. Yeah.
I don't think Kerrigan
Neuroparasite
could kill this army.
She could EMP it, she could help. But the Neuroparasite is really quite... I feel like this is such a... Man, it'd be cool if suddenly this spell worked really well. It never does. I don't know why Zergs go for it, to be honest.
I mean, like, in an ideal world it does, but the Infestors just don't have enough range with the spell, even with all the kind of upgrades and everything they have for it. Here we go.
Oh my god, Mass Infested Terran, but no fungals quite yet. Parasitic Bombs, but this army isn't... It's not super clumped up. There we go. The Voiders are clumped up, the Carrier's not so much, and the Carrier Interceptor's just... Oh, look at the blood. Oh my good god. That's game here. I don't know, why did he go for double Spire and then not make any Corruptors?
I really thought that the Remax was going to be on Corruptors, but yeah, it didn't end up making any. If he killed off all those Voiders with the Parasitic Bombs, the Corruptor Remax could have worked out decently well, but
What?
unfortunately, that's the way it goes, and we end up seeing that HellraiseR ties up the series 1-1 with a really cool New Gettysburg build, something that I'm probably going to try and steal.
Yeah. So we were invited to a different series, and I'm just trying to get the admin to say... Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
As you wish.
So yeah, that was a little bit awkward. Now we'll finish this best of 3.
Yeah.
And then maybe join the
I'm
second
interested
game.
by that last game, so I want to finish this.
Yeah. But awkwardness aside, did mean to take a break, so see you guys in 2 minutes. Thanks for watching those ads. We're back in the ace match on Frozen Temple. In the bottom right, as the Blue Zerg, he is Lambo.
And his opponent, up in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It's HellraiseR. Tied up series 1-1.
He did raise some hell last game, but unfortunately, that's one of those maps, like Ruins of Endion, that, okay, you see the reasoning, and you see the cleverness with the island base, and alright then. But Frozen Temple, you can't do the exact same thing. If you try, you probably do just die to that Hydralisk bust. Hydralisk Queen bust. And here we have a bit more aggressive of an opener. Double gateways already. No Nexus yet.
Yeah, he's saving up the minerals for it, so he is going to get it. But yeah, this is definitely a more aggressive opener where you can get out really quick to Adepts and try and put the pressure on. It's sort of interesting also because if you do go for... Whoa, he's going to start the Adepts before his Nexus. I guess that makes sense because otherwise there's no reason to go for the Cybercore before Nexus.
Well... Okay, you got the probe scout, right? And he sees that Lambo didn't do something stupidly greedy, like three bases. Although that's not even necessarily stupidly greedy. He didn't do anything much greediness. But what is Lambo scouted? His Overlord gets in here now and sees, I think, the second gateway. And that's going to be his first tell. He can still go for the third base just because the Adept shouldn't be able to cancel it. And if they do waste time on a building, then that's good for Lambo. The question is, can he get the units in the right position to stop this with what he does have, which is a handful of Lings and Queens? I think he's good. And HellraiseR, I mean, yeah, you should probably look at this and just go, okay, I force out Lings. Is that good enough? Scouts in the main base, sees more Lings pop out. That's all drones that Lambo wanted to make.
Yeah, he's just not really able to do a whole lot with that opening. I guess this might just lead into a big Adept all-in. He has the Twilight Council going up. He's making more Adepts. And having, I guess, earlier Adept production just allows him to have up an extra round of Adepts for the big all-in if he decides to go for it. Problem is he hasn't really added on all the gateways he needs for it. I guess he doesn't need to just yet, but he's going to need to pretty soon, and he's not going to have any way of cleaning up that Overlord.
Yep, no Stalker is produced. That's a little unfortunate. I do wonder if it's going to be an all-in, though, or just like this committed Adept attack. Adds on one more gateway, and that's still, you know, an okay amount. Lambo sees that and is going to leave. No, not quite
I don't
yet.
know. I just feel like he delayed his natural expansion for so long. You can see he's still not even getting his gas geysers. I don't even know if it will even make sense for him to grab his gas geysers in the next minute or two, just because he doesn't exactly even have mineral saturation there. I just feel like he's going to be so far behind if he doesn't really do a lot of damage with this attack.
Yeah. But the question is, it doesn't have to be an all-in to do damage. Since he does have those added earlier Adepts, he'll still have quite a good number of Adepts, plus Resident Englave. So he's already at 9. I think he'll have 11... Or 12, rather, 3 gateways now, with Resident Enclaves. The addition of a Stargate so early after his little...
I guess my question is he going to stop at 38 probes? Because that's a pretty magic number for a lot of players. No, he's still making more workers. So yeah, you're right. It's not going to be a total all-in. But there are a lot of roaches being made right now. And oh, Zerglings, I guess get stopped by the Stalker, as well as the Mothership Core.
This is problematic. Lambo already has so much defense, but that also means he has a potentially good counter. And that's where the Stargate might really help out if he can build like a single Void Ray. But even then, he still won't have a third base. It's being put down now. These Adepts need to buy some time.
Even more than the third base, I'm actually concerned about the fact that there's no third and fourth gas geysers. That's like probably the biggest concern to me. Because yeah, the third base goes down, and he's gonna be able to get some pylons up to push an overcharge. But if there's no tech, if he can't even afford to really make anything outside of just 3 gateways worth of probably Adepts, can't really even afford the Stalkers. Whoa.
Was that on purpose? That didn't go so well.
That was questionable.
Yeah,
there's so many units there.
I feel like that wasn't on purpose. I mean, eventually he's gonna have to shade them through to buy more time. But I thought he was gonna wait a bit longer and watch for the move out. Now Lambo cleans it up with ease and pushes out. And as I said, the Void Ray helps, but I think you can still target fire the Nexus and get out. You could probably even take out a couple of the... Yeah, he's preparing for this. He's got extra pylons on the way. He's just gonna cancel the third. He's in a ton of trouble.
Okay, well...
Oh, Oracle almost died.
Oracle not able to do a whole lot. Kills off 2 workers, but that's pretty much it. And there's actually a lot of drones coming up behind this for Lambo. He's not committing to all in over here. He knows that he's killed off the third, and that's all he really had to do. In fact, I think it's a complete wall off over here. I wouldn't even hate it if Lambo just backed off. He doesn't need to commit in here.
Yeah, if you had more Ravagers, I think he's already torn down the pylon wall, and then you commit. But with only 2 Ravagers, it's taking way too long, and that Void Ray is going to go to town on the Roaches. So back off. You'll lose, I guess, a couple in the retreats, but better than everything. And wait for the Hydralisk.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that I feel like maybe now is the time that you just send in a Zergling or something. Just keep an eye on that third. All you need to do with this army is deny the third. Because you know your opponent can't move out. He just committed so much. You can think of those pylons almost as photon cannons. It's just imagine player throws down like 4 photon cannons at the natural. What do? Well, you make sure they don't expand and you just sit at home and play greedy. And that's kind of what I think he gets to do. But a couple of Adepts going to be making their way back. So I guess it's good that he brought some of his army back at least.
Yeah, I'm going to get okay amount of drones for like 2 Adepts, 3 Adepts, but not for all of his Adepts.
Well, kills a lot of his own Zerglings.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy. The faster Stargates did provide that Void Ray, and that was cool. But the second Stargate, and even the third one, he is going to try and kind of go what he did last game. This might be out of desperation, since the Adepts really did not do what they needed, and this might have been his plan all along. Couldn't tell you. But I think, as I was saying at the beginning of this game, he's just going to get overwhelmed with a Hydralisk attack.
But you know what could really make or break the difference over here? Those stasis traps. Stasis traps are seriously one of the most underrated things in StarCraft right now. They are so good, and if Lambo gets caught by one of them with a handful of Hydralisk, takes like a decent-ish engagement with the Void Rays and some overcharges, I think suddenly this game isn't nearly as bad as it was before. Because it's not like HellraiseR's lost a lot of workers. His economy wasn't amazing by any means, but he's gotten up all 3 of his bases, and he's pumping out those Void Rays. There is an Overseer in the main base, though, that's just idly sitting there and observing everything that's going on. So that might be a bit of a concern, because that does allow Lambo an earlier amount of time to react.
Excuse you? It was overseeing everything that was going on? Please.
Overwatching.
Please. Yeah, exactly. The CSGO thing? Okay.
Gambling?
Hey? He could probably push in with Roach Ravager Hydralisk, but waiting for Infestors is not bad either. I think he realizes time is still on his side, because it's going to take a very, very long time for HellraiseR to get to that point of no return when it comes to the air. 120 supply is not it yet.
There's a lot more finesse to this build from HellraiseR than I'm gonna give it credit for right now. Because you have to control this well. Like, it's not actually as easy as it looks, but this looks like a Bronze League build, right? This is literally do an attack, it doesn't work, throw down lots of photon cannons and massive void rays and go into carriers, or I guess Tempest in this game. Like, this is literally a Bronze League build, but executed better.
You can say it's the same thing for like a lot of different builds, though. But the idea is solid. You know, it's all joking about the bronze thing and whatnot. But
I don't mean to take away from HellraiseR at all.
It is turtling or all-inning, both extremes, can net you wins. Or otherwise, if you played a more middle-of-the-road game, it will not. Oracle goes down. I think that was. Nothing going on Lambo's side of the map, and just a complete, just dominating army supply here. Really, the only thing HellraiseR has are these mass cannons.
But the thing is, these cannons, like, they're buying time. Because, yeah, Corrosive Vials will take them out for free, but Tempests are coming out. And those are going to start taking out units for free. Stasis Trap does catch 2 of the Hydralisks, not a whole lot caught, but actually just thins the ramp out, so it makes it so there's less maneuverability over there. Tempest got to be careful. Tempest got to back up. He does not want to be losing these Tempests.
Yeah, the Tempest should be micro. The Voider's doing a decent job against the Hydralisk, and that's where I think he's waiting for the Infestors would have been better. Although apparently, wait, did he get any Infestors? He got Patching Glands, but then went for the Hive instead. Either way, AoE. Had he waited for AoE in addition to that Hydralisk attack, I think he wins. The Void Rays actually die, because they get pretty low anyway. And then he can take out the cannons afterwards.
I don't know, if he waited for AoE, then there would have been 6 Tempests out.
True. But I think he still would have been able to contain on 3 bases. Had the Void Rays ever to push into the army, they would have died, I think, very quickly. And the Tempest would have been left alone, so they can micro to their heart's content, because with that range, they can do a lot, but I don't think he's advancing forward past his cannon defense for some time.
This is a Bronze League strategy.
The cannons are what really makes it look silly, because this is not the first time we've seen the mass air style. I mean, Harsum tried it, and back when was on the thing. But even then, there wasn't that many cannons. A couple to defend the third base. But
like, the cannons really do make a lot of sense. Because it buys so much time.
Yeah, and they add quite a bit of damage to what is an army that is majority Hydralisk. Those glass cannons. So they also go down quickly. If they don't go down, that's a lot of extra added damage for the fight. And now we have Storm. This was what was missing from last game that, wasn't necessary, apparently. He still won. But with Storm, the Hydralisk army is even worse looking. They have to be very careful, and feedbacks can now go down on these spellcasters. And this is still a problem for Lambo to consider. But I think his army supply should just be able to do it here. Slow. Okay. The hype.
HellraiseR about to pause. HellraiseR also doesn't know that the army's right there, so he doesn't even know he's like pausing right before the engagement. But I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think that HellraiseR needs to build some more photon cans by that 4th.
Yeah. As long as he can kind of use this ledge, I think, to micro back to, he might have to cancel the 4th base, but maybe he'll keep his army alive. And that's better than losing your army and your 4th base.
Yeah, I guess part of the reason why he doesn't want to throw down a bunch of photon cannons right now is so he doesn't have a big mineral bank, and he's getting out his carriers, and the carriers need to build the interceptors, so he's going to be spending a lot of his minerals pretty shortly, as you can see. He's already doing so with the carriers, but
Vipers are out.
Go.
They should try and abduct, but there are High Templars. Oh, they still get the abducts in. Oh, they even abduct the High Templar, which is not what you usually want to do.
Yeah, just abducting a feedbacking mechanism, but here we go. This is going to be the big moment. Storm's going down, and I don't think he's going to be able to defend the 4th, but can he hold on to his 3rd is my major question right now.
He's storming so much, and I think he's out of storms now. He did kill a lot of the Hydralisk. The Queens didn't have so much of a problem taking storm damage. They're kind of buff, And the 4th base was canceled. He got a couple of units. Yeah.
Like, all the transfused energy, all the fungal growth and infested Terran energy, most of it's been used up. So he's going to lose his 4th, but is that okay? I actually think it might be okay.
Maybe. He did lose a few units in the defense, which ideally that, he just leaves the 4th base to die and runs away, but you might be right. If he can get maxed out, even if he doesn't have a remax, this army, combined with Storm, can take some brutal engagements. But he's got to get maxed out first for me to believe in it.
They're the Corruptors, though. The Corruptors make a world of difference, because Guess what's missing from that last game? Well, I guess there are Void Rays, but there's no +2 weapons. There aren't a massive number of carries. We made a lot of Tempest first, so I do feel like Corruptor's in this big attack, if he moves in, it'll be pretty effective.
God, Lambo's been winning the income war so hard. Yeah. I really like that he just kind of... I don't know if he just forgot the Corruptor's a thing, or he's more scared of the Void Rays last game, but he's taken out, I guess, a couple of Void Rays, maybe realizing that the opportunity for fungal combination will kill the Void Rays fast enough, and then his Corruptors can come in. I know, I like this army so much better than last game, is the point.
This
Queens.
is StarCraft, ladies and gentlemen.
Queens, please. He's being very careful. He doesn't want to send his Corruptors into the Void Rays without the help of the Hydralisk and those Abducts.
Oh, he storms his own
Damn.
Void Rays because they get pulled in.
Wow, those Abducts are pretty good. And there's only so many Void Rays left over. Transfuse is going down on the Corruptors as well, is really helping out. Oh, but he's missing them now. So
Yeah.
be careful.
I'm a little bit torn right now. I think that most of the carriers have lost their interceptors to these queens. 4th expansion is going to go down, but at the same time, Lambo did lose a lot of units there.
Not enough, I would say. He lost his
literally took the map.
Vipers, he still has his Infestors, and yeah, he's taking the map, so he can remax. And if HellraiseR saved the 4th, that's okay. Maybe you still continue to try and get maxed out, or if he had stuck a 5th somewhere, he can get maxed out. But I don't see a max out happening anymore. Main's mined out, Natural's just about, and 3rd base isn't even mining completely because he's trying to get the 4th base up.
That's definitely true.
Oh, this thing is
He's
all
not even
in.
actually trying to go for the max right now. He's just making interceptors with all of his minerals, getting up the +2 weapons.
Yeah.
He's gonna be hitting way before +2 weapons finishes up, but will he hit before Lambo gets out all the units he needs? I think it's already a little bit too late.
Yeah, I think this is just the all-in push. Hope this works. Even if it defeats the first army, we know there's a second army. He would have to kill every single building and the army, and that just wasn't going to happen, so... GG!
Lambo shuts down the Photon Cannon Tempest Void Ray carrier build.
Yeah, he does. And that's what I expected on Frozen Temple, but damn if HellraiseR didn't make a good game of it. He unfortunately falls out. Lambo goes on to face the Muslim, which I'll have to ask if we can start more than one qualifying match, because I know the other one's probably still going on. I think... Well, I can't tell you if Guru beat Soul or Soul beat Guru, because the bracket's still not updating, but Zake's waiting for someone in that side of the qualifying matches. Yeah, I think it's all qualifying matches now.
Yeah. A Laser versus Fear. We have Lambo versus Demuslim, Demaga versus Night End, and yeah, Sake versus Soul, like you were saying.
All right. Well, we'll figure out what we're casting next. See you guys in a few.